Hello there everybody. This is part 3 of my guides for beginners and mid-game players in Azur Lane. This part is more focused on mid-level players. However, early level players can keep note of it, and the early to mid-level players can utilize it if they can. Starting with number 1, using tier charts as a reference. These charts are made by a part of Azur Lane community, who have expressed their opinions by ranking each of the ships and equipment. For example, this chart by Usagi-sensei categorizes and ranks each of the ships by their particular class. So, how would you use this as a reference? Let us take a look at the battleships. We have Tier 0, Tier 1, up until Tier 5, and finally Tier N. Tier 0 ships are better than Tier 1s. Tier 1s are better than Tier 2, and so on. Even in a particular tier, there is a particular way on how you should look at each ranking. In each tier, start from the top left, that is your number 1. Move to the right is number 2. Number 3. Move down leftmost, that is number 4. The first ship here is Friedrich der Grosse. So she is the best in Tier 0, implying that she is the best battleship in the game. Again, Monarch here is said to be better than Richelieu. Same for CVs and every other class. In this case, for CV, where Shinano is at the first, implies that she is the best CV in the game. To many surprise, this chart says that Centaur is better than Enterprise, well, which I would both agree and disagree on. Since these charts are made by an individual or a group of individuals, these are highly opinionated. They are not absolute. While I agree certain ships are better than the others, the game does not require you to have the best ships to enjoy the game. These charts can serve as a good reference. These can help you plan, and these can help you get a head start. Number 2. Learn to compose mob and boss fleet. The main logic behind having a mob fleet is to try to clear out the mob enemies on the map. You must defeat a handful of them before the boss is revealed. Then, you use the boss fleet to confront the boss. So generally, your mob fleet will do 4 or 5 battles, and your boss fleet will do, at maximum, 2 battles. The main factor in building a fleet are the ship skills. For example, Queen Elizabeth. You would want her to be in a mob fleet because of her buff skill. If you have any Royal Navy ship in that particular fleet, they will utilize buff for all their battles. Better to make them stronger if they are having more battles. Healers such as Soho or Unicorn, which you can get in the early game, are much better if you use them in the mob fleet. Generally, skills with yellow color are best for the mob fleet. At a higher level, mob fleet usually comprises of 2 or 3 main ships and 1 vanguard, or 2 or 3 vanguard and 1 main ship. At early levels, this is not possible, but by the time you complete chapter 3, I would suggest you get started on it. As for the boss fleet, you would want to keep your strongest offenses and utilize all 6 of your ships. Utilize the 10% damage buff you get from having ammunition. Ships such as Suffolk, a high damage dealing glass cannon, is best suited. Prince Eugen, which I am sure that you have it, is not well suited for a boss fleet. She is extremely tanky for early mid level, but doesn't deal much damage. Ataku or Takao, who have perfect balance of damage and staying ability until mid-late levels, are perfect for boss fleets. Overall, I can only give a handful of advice about ships at a time. Take a good look at a tier chart. Analyze each ship and see if the skills and stats are best against multiple fights or a single fight. It may be tough, but trust me, once you get further into the game, this will help you out in a long run, especially for farming and grinding. Trust me, it will go a long way.